Morning all, so it's Mark here from Eagle 4x4 with our 2023 next generation Ranger. This is a fantastic truck, we love it to bits, but one of the real downsides of it that it's kind of hard to believe that Ford didn't do is there's no gas struts on the bonnet. So you've got a basic prop here that you would expect on an older vehicle, but even the old version of the Ford Ranger had two gas struts on it, but with the new version, for some reason, whether it's a cost-saving exercise or whatever, you don't get it on here. So Martin here has managed to get hold of some struts, strut kit, which I'm just going to try and fit now. It looks very, very straightforward, so I'm going to show you the kit in a second, and we'll go through the process of installing it and see how it goes. So this is the kit we've got. So you've got a couple of brackets here, some gas strut ends, and obviously a couple of struts. Very simple kit. So everything you need apart from the tools, which so far all I can see is you need a 10mm socket and a 12mm spanner. Everything else is provided, so it should be pretty straightforward to install. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so to start with, we've got these brackets. These are fitted to the wing. For one end of the gas strut, you see you've got the gas strut mounting point there, the sort of nipple that the gas strut goes onto, and then a very simple bracket, two holes in it, and a little bit of a cutout there to go around the weld. And basically that's going to go here just in front of the hinge. You've got a 10mm headed bolt here, so an M6 bolt here, which you need to remove, and that'll form one of the bolts that holds this bracket on. And then there's a bolt in the kit to go through this hole here, so really straightforward. So we're going to start off by undoing this bolt here. Okay, so I have got my 10mm socket. This is just going to undo this bolt here, which goes into a captive nut, so there's no need to put a nut behind that. Very straightforward, just undo that. It comes all the way out. Do that last little bit by hand, and then we get our bracket here. So this is the bracket that comes in the kit, and just lay it over the wing there so that the gas strut mounting is away from the hinge there. And then just using that original bolt that we took out, we're just going to put that back in there. I'll just put it in loosely now while we line up the other bolt. So you've got an M6 bolt and an M6 nut supplied in the kit. So that's for the other end of the bracket. Literally just slot that in there. A little bit fiddly to get behind. Just tighten that up by hand for now. Okay, so we've got our bolts in place. We've got the original bolt here, which goes into the original captive nut. Then we've got our M6 nut and bolt there. We're just going to tighten these up now. Nice and tight. And then the same with this one. You actually don't even need a spanner on the underside because the nuts that come with it are a serrated aero nut, so they tend to grip themselves once they're finger tight, so just tighten that up. So now we've got our bracket in place with the gas strut fitting there. So we just got to put a fitting onto the bonnet and away we go. So I'll just do that now. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. To fit the bracket, the sort of gas strut mounting that you've got here with a threaded end and a ball joint on the other end, we're going to fit this into the bonnet. So on each side you'll see you've got two holes here, and then there's like a sort of square cutout there, and in the kit you get this sort of captive nut with a flexible metal end on it, and the idea of that is you can then use that to hold the nut in place. And we're going to go into this lower hole of these two holes here, so a little bit fiddly I suspect, but we've got a washer to go on there as well to spread the load. So slide the washer over your gas strut mounting, kind of get this get this nut, which way do I have it? No, that way. You can bend that strip of metal just to try and get it in the best position. This is kind of awkward because I've got the camera in front of me, which is kind of getting in the way, but I'm going to try and get this lined up. So line up that nut with that hole. Do your best not to drop it inside the bonnet, because that would be a bit of a pain in the backside. And then just, I'm having to do this at a very awkward angle to avoid blocking the camera out, but hopefully you can get the idea of it. Get that, once that's started, then just tighten it up. You can kind of let go of that nut now and swap. I'm just going to swap hands there. So now I'm just going to tighten that up finger tight. And then when you get to a certain point, you're going to have to get the spanner on it when you can't do it anymore with your fingers. So 12mm spanner, there's a hexagon part on there, and then just tighten that up reasonably tight. You don't need to over tighten it, just so it bites in there nicely. And I'm holding that metal strip under here with my other finger, just to sort of stop the captive nut from turning. So now we've got our nipple on here. Then if I just angle the camera down, obviously we've got our fitting here. Obviously the next thing to do is just to connect the strut to both of those, and then that's one side done. And then it's literally just the same, do the same on the other side, which I'll do in a second. And finally you've got a new vehicle with gas struts, kind of as you'd expect them to be on a vehicle that comes out in 2023. So as you can see, really simple installation. I'll just grab the gas strut now. So the struts aren't handed, but you've got on one end, I don't know if you can see it clearly here, but the gas strut fitting on the end of this is slightly bent, and that'll be the bit that goes up against the bonnet. And on the other end, you've got a straight fitting. So you've got the piston here, barrel here. Barrel always goes up to the top, so that's going to just pop on there, and then just spin that fitting around there and pop that on there. It's as simple as that. So now we've got a strut that will support the bonnet up. You don't need to use the original strut. You can either get rid of that, unbolt it, or just leave it in place. So I'll get the other side fitted on, and then when I've done that, we'll have a look at how the whole thing looks. And you'll see that that's literally, I think this is a 5 to 10 minute job, and makes a massive improvement to the 2023 Ranger. Of course, you can get these on our website, which is nextgenranger.co.uk, a website totally dedicated to accessories just for the new generation Ranger. So I'll get the other side on and we'll see how it looks. So now we've got both struts on there. I can just show you. Just opening the bonnet now. Simple. It's nothing clever. It's what you'd expect from a modern vehicle. We've got our two struts. They don't really impede access to the engine bay. So if you've got any work to do, or you're fitting any other accessories, you can do that with these struts on without any problem at all. Still, I've left the original strut prop on here for now, but there's actually just one bolt to take that off. So it'd take no time at all to whip that off, do away with it, just rely on your struts. So remember, you can get these from nextgenranger.co.uk, which is Eagle 4x4's dedicated website for the new generation Ranger. We've got a whole range of products on there, and we're adding to it every week. We're putting new products on there, everything from arches, wheels, tires, grills, light surrounds, roller shutters, electric roller shutters, you name it, it's all on there, hard tops. But this is a really simple addition, so if you're buying something on the site, put these in your basket. They're cheap, they're easy to fit, and they really are a great addition. So thanks for watching.